I really think that we need to stop. Like, I'm always for, like, we need to continuously improve. We need to continuously innovate, come up with new
Yeah,
things.
we just have to grow as in society.
But, like, as far as AI goes, we cannot create our own destruction. Like, there are so many movies about
we
it.
can, though.
We can and we probably will, but we shouldn't.
And I'm excited.
We really
Yo,
shouldn't.
things are going to be so efficient. It's going to be nice.
Because I don't want the year 3000 to roll around and the robots are all living like, oh, remember those humans? Those were crazy.
Okay, you know why, like, I'm kind of for it? Is because, like, humans are just, like, we're just, like, shit shows. We're just, like, always fighting.
That's what makes us great. Is that we're
it's
shit
nice.
shows.
It's nice, yeah.
Because, like, if you, let's say you have
it's
your...
not efficient.
It's not, right. I would say humans at our best are, like, 75 to 80% efficient, right?
I guess that just gives light into my mindset,
but
though. You know what I mean?
But that gives you room for improvement, right? That's what makes the human spirit so awesome, is that you keep working and you fuck up. Like, you keep fucking up for sure, but you do your best to succeed more than you fuck up. But with robots, well, first of all, in the scenario we're talking about, there aren't humans anymore. So I'm gone, right? All the shit I like is gone, right? So that's not good, A. But B, like, sure, the robots inherently could improve, like, their software or their fucking whatever it is. But, like...
It's boring.
It's boring.
It would be boring.
It's boring. Like, here's the thing, because I believe that one day we'll be able to map out... I don't think you could ever map out 100% of a human brain, but you would map out most of it. But, there, like, with humans, there's always so much unknown going on, right? That's why new things are crazy, right? New projects, new relationships, new jobs, new vacations or trips you take, right? There's so much unknown going into that, because there's no there's so much more risk with humans, which is, you can weigh the positive or the negative depending on what you're getting into. But, like, obviously something like getting into a conflict with another nation or, like, doing something like that.
But, like, so I see what you're saying, like, the free will to be able to, like, do whatever you want to do. Well, the thing is, though, is that, like, even if we have AI, and let's say, like, humans are completely out of the picture here,
which is what I want to avoid.
Let's say, like, humans are completely out of the picture, and we just have, like, AI that's running everything. The thing is, though, is that unless there's, like, one supreme ruler, like, running all of these machines, there still will be free will, right?
But that's the other thing too. With in the same notion that I don't think you'd be able to map out 100% of the human brain. I don't think they're like, okay, here's the best analogy that I can make. I think robots will have the same amount of free will that people who believe in a deity will have free will. And what I mean by that is, like, me as a Christian, right? I know that I have free will and I can really do what I want, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also the idea that God has a plan. Mm. So do I have free will, or do I, how much do I align with the plan, or how many plans are there depending on what decisions I make, right? Maybe the plan is just I end up at one spot in the end, right? When my chapter closes and my book closes on my life, that was the plan to end up there. Now, how do I get there is weird. And then that's how you kind of get, like, personally, that's when I get into, like, a multiverse theory. But as much free will as I have right now, I think that's about as much free will as robots are going to have. Because, yes, they'll have it programmed into them, but same thing, it's programmed, right? It's as much as they can get, and they keep improving, and they keep detailing. But it's just about as much as, like, their supreme robot.
Well, that's the thing, is that we don't know.
Do you want the space heater on?
Sure.
Yeah, I got a space heater.
And see, that's the thing, is that I don't know if we do map out a human brain, if we can also simulate consciousness. And that's, like, the thing that a lot of people are, like, waiting to see, because eventually our technology will get to the point where we can actually start testing to see if, like, we do have, like, a higher thing that's, like, running all humans. Like, there's actually a God, and there's a purpose for our consciousness. Or if we do replicate a human brain, will consciousness happen or not? And no one knows that. And that's the thing that we're kind of waiting on. Once we understand, like, okay, now robots are starting to get a sense of self. Okay, now what's the meaning of life?
Yeah.
Right? Because if robots can get a sense of self and they know that they're alive and that they're capable of doing things, that like will completely change everything.
See, and that's scary.
That will like almost outrule religion itself if we can replicate consciousness.
I think it will enhance religion. But here's why I say that. The robots have their creators,
That would
right?
make us a god.
So, but see, the robots have their creator, right? So to them, we are a god. To them, right? But then maybe we did that because we were created by someone. So then we have a god.
Right.
What would break religion is if we found out our god had a god. That would break religion for
I don't know
sure.
if it'd break religion.
I think
but
so
yeah.
because like let's say again let's
But
say
it's possible.
let's say Christianity, right?
possible.
Let's say Christianity is the correct religion. Let's just say it is for argument's sake. You could insert Buddhism and Catholicism and Judaism, whatever you want to really put in there. Let's say Christianity is the right one, and there is that God.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that religion, just like any other religion that believes in one deity, that's it. Everything starts and begins with that thing, right? That person, right?
Right.
But if you find out that thing that you thought this entire time was actually created by something else, that is when you start to dismantle our religions. And that's when you start to think, oh,
There's
shit.
no way we'll know. Right? Like
Yeah, there's only one way, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you start to kind of figure out, like, will we ever know what happens when we die? That's when you start figuring that shit out. Because if it is just a black screen and there is nothing, like, I don't think the human brain is meant to comprehend nothing. Like, have you ever done that? Just like sat down and thought about like what is nothing?
What'd you do before you were alive?
Exactly.
Nothing.
It-
It's just like it's one of those things.
But then it's like it's not you.
I don't know. Like religion's like one of those very touchy subjects too, because like I recently had like this very interesting conversation with somebody who's very logical and like they didn't have a religion. They didn't believe that there was other gods or anything like that because he was like talking about like how the Bible was written and how like everyone was just like fucking high and like drunk like back in those days. Like the bread that they used to eat would actually cause hallucinations. And that's like why a lot of the stories in the Bible are kind of crazy, like the burning bush and all that, because of the things that they ate actually caused them to be high and like have these crazy hallucinations a lot of the time. And that's an interesting idea.
It's funny you bring up the burning bush because there's also a theory that the reason why it's Abraham, right? Yeah. The reason why Abraham saw God in that bush is because the bush was actually secreting DMT.
Yeah, and then there's like things like that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then the way I kind of take that is if it really was secreting DMT, right? Like DMT is what a lot of people would equate to why people see a light when they're dying, right? Because all that just getting flooded out of the brain. So they see a light and it's like, oh, I saw heaven, I saw God. Okay, yeah, maybe you did, right? Maybe you really did. Or maybe there was just so much of that drug being released in your brain that it simulated that. So when you start saying stuff like, okay, well, that burning bush was secreting DMT, he inhaled it, and now this is what he saw.
Right.
Maybe that is a pathway to the higher power, whatever it is up there. Maybe that is how you get to it. And that's why we can only get it out of our bodies when we die.